Imagine this: you sit down to work, but instead of starting, you scroll your phone, check emails, and suddenly an hour is gone. I've been there too, and the hardest part wasn't the work itself. It was just getting started. That's where the 2-minute rule comes in. A simple trick that makes procrastination almost impossible. In this video, I'll break down exactly how the 2-minute rule works and why it's so effective against procrastination. By the end, you'll have a simple, science-backed strategy to start tasks instantly and finally stop putting things off. Procrastination is not just about being lazy. It's deeply connected to how our brain handles discomfort. Research from Dr. Piers Steel, author of the Procrastination Equation, shows that people delay tasks not because they don't care, but because the immediate pain of starting feels greater than the long-term reward of finishing. In neuroscience terms, our limbic system, the part of the brain wired for instant gratification, often overpowers the prefrontal cortex, which is responsible for long-term planning. That's why starting feels so hard. Your brain is trying to avoid the discomfort of effort, even if logically you know the task matters. The 2-minute rule works because it bypasses this mental resistance by making the start so small that your brain no longer sees it as threatening. Instead of climbing the whole mountain, you're just taking the first step. The 2-minute rule, popularized by productivity expert James Clear in Atomic Habits, is built on the psychology of activation energy. In physics, activation energy is the small push needed to start a reaction. And in psychology, it refers to the minimal effort required to begin a behavior. Research published in the European Journal of Social Psychology found that forming habits is less about willpower and more about consistency, often taking an average of 66 days for a new habit to stick. Making the starting point ridiculously easy, like opening a book instead of forcing yourself to study for an hour, or putting on running shoes instead of committing to a 5K run. Once you're in motion, momentum takes over. Studies on the Zeigarnik effect also suggest that once we start a task, our brain experiences tension until it's completed, making it easier to keep going. This is why just 2 minutes of genuine effort can often expand into 20 minutes or even more of focused work. The brilliance of the 2-minute rule lies in how it hacks our brain's resistance. Research in behavioral psychology shows that our minds tend to overestimate the difficulty of starting a task, a phenomenon known as task initiation anxiety. Dr. Timothy Pychyl, a leading procrastination researcher, emphasizes that procrastination isn't a time management issue, it's an emotion regulation issue. In other words, we avoid tasks not because they're impossible, but because starting feels overwhelming. By committing to just 2 minutes, we bypass the fear of beginning and trick our brain into momentum. For instance, instead of saying, "I'll write 5 pages of my report," you say, "I'll open the document and type 1 sentence." More often than not, that single sentence leads to more, because once you're in motion, inertia keeps you going. Now, how do we put this into practice consistently? Start by identifying one area of your life where procrastination hits hardest, whether it's work, studies, health, or personal goals. Break down tasks into their simplest, 2-minute versions. Want to read more? Just read 1 page. Want to exercise? Put on your gym shoes and step outside. In a study published in the British Journal of Health Psychology, researchers found that people who link small habits with daily routines, push-up, like flossing 1 tooth or doing 1, were far more likely to develop long-term consistency. This shows that the 2-minute rule isn't about finishing a task instantly. It's about building a system of starting without resistance. Once the act of starting becomes automatic, procrastination loses its grip on you. So, the next time you catch yourself putting things off, remember this: you don't need to conquer the whole mountain today, just take the first 2 steps. That's the power of the 2-minute rule. Small beginnings create unstoppable momentum. Start small, stay consistent, and watch how tiny actions transform into massive results over time. Now I want to hear from you. What's one task you've been procrastinating on that you can shrink into a 2-minute start today? Drop it in the comments, I'll be reading.